everybody doing? Everybody good? Alright, so real quick, like everybody just kind of go around real briefly, kind of just introduce yourselves. Just tell me like your name and then let me know what professional field you're actually looking into. And tell me your grade. Cool? Right here.
My name's Toriano. I'm in seventh.
Seventh grade? What career you looking into? You know? It's okay. How are you?
My name is John Carr. I'm about to be a freshman, and I'm probably gonna go into marketing.
What school?
Pike High School.
What school is it?
Kippy.
Kippy?
My name is Shay. I want to be a pediatrician or a neurologist.
Pediatrician or neurologist?
And also want to have my own business.
What grade you in?
10.
10? What school?
Aaron.
Harry? Okay.
My name is Roy. I'm a junior at Pike High School, and I kind of want to go into like business management.
Okay. Cool.
My name's Paul Ford. I'm a senior at Hamilton Southeastern High School, and I want to go into entrepreneurship and administration.
Right on.
Zachary Cox. I'm a junior at Normal High School, and I want to go into marketing.
Marketing? Alright, cool. Well, I'm Sherman Flukas. I'm actually, I graduated from North Central High School back in 2000. Nothing personal against you. It's all good. But anyways, I'm an entrepreneur, alright? I also I'm also a minister, I'm a public speaker, I'm also a head football coach over Washington Township at West Lane Middle School. I'm here just to basically try to help you guys, not only just your own professional realm of just doing things on the standpoint of business-wise, but I'm also here to try to help you about finding what you want to do and finding your legacy and finding what you want to do, but also implementing that integrity part of the situation. A lot of times, we all just want to make money. Is there anybody who don't want to make money? Exactly, right? But making money comes with responsibility, right? Everybody remember that old school, was that Sean Puffy Combs used to have more money, more problems, or was that Biggie? You don't know?
Yeah.
Am I that old? No, I'm not that old. But anyways, nonetheless though, I'm here to try to let you understand, I'm trying to help you be able to navigate the journey, alright? The one thing that people love to do is to be able to be successful, but in being successful, I want to kind of give you a couple of nuggets about when you become successful, how that would then give you a responsibility to help other people, okay? It shouldn't always be about you. It should be about the people who you actually serve. And when you get into a mind frame of learning how to help other people and utilizing what you do, utilizing your business as a platform, then it'll allow for you to be able to excel in different areas that you never thought that can even be there. All right. So we're gonna take this next 40 minutes just to talk. Feel free that if you have any questions, any concerns along the way, feel free to even ask those questions. All right. Don't be shy. All right. So first and foremost, I am an author as well. I'm a published author. I actually published a book co-authored called Transform. And everyone in this book is basically a pastor, a business owner, or basically played in the NBA. All right? And out of everyone in that book, I am actually the youngest person. All right? I'm 37 years old. When the book was published last year, I was actually 36 years old. Right? And I kind of bring this up not just to highlight that I have a book that's published, but to kind of just highlight the pure matter of fact that I put myself in a circle of individuals who are smarter than me. Has anybody else been in a circle? Has anybody else been in a room before where everybody is smarter than them and they kind of feel like, what am I doing here? Why? What's the purpose of this? And it's perfectly okay. That is the perfect environment for you to be able to be into, right? I like to tell myself that if I'm the smartest person in the room, then I need to get into another room. Like I want to be around people who are basically like rocket scientists, like who are basically just like got 2 PhDs. Initially when you walk in, it'll feel a little bit different, but we'll go a little bit in depth of why it feels that way, because there's actually a science behind that, all right, and that's perfectly normal. All right, you can actually go to find my book on Amazon Prime. You can actually go to download it, and it's actually just a pretty good book. All right. Today we're going to talk about a couple goals. We're going to talk about your career aspiration. We're going to talk about the mission, the vision, and leadership traits. All right. We're going to tap into each one of these individuals' characteristics about how we can be able to extract the ministry out of each one of these, and therefore now plug it into it, because you have a responsibility. When you actually go out and you serve people, that's a ministry. Okay? It doesn't always have to be in the pulpit. I think a lot of times people just think that ministry is being a pastor in the pulpit. No. There's actually financial ministry. When you teach people how to be able to manage money. There's actually healing ministry, where you actually teach people not just physically how to heal. When you're actually a therapist, that is a physical, that is actually a ministry. You help people learn how to walk. When you actually help people with mental health, that's a ministry. It doesn't necessarily mean, the ministry basically means that you are helping someone. That's all that it is. Okay? So I want for you to learn how to be able to take your individual profession and then flip it into another way. So let's dive into it a little bit deeper, right? As you can see right here, I am a United States soldier, all right? I did go over to Afghanistan back in 2010. I served in Afghanistan. I was in combat, did all that great stuff. I was actually a 91 Lima. A 91 Lima is basically a heavy construction equipment mechanic, okay? So I learned how to fix rollers, dozers, strikers, Hummers, Humvees, anything that basically went on wheels, okay? And the reason why I make this irrelevant is because at this point in time in the journey, when I first went into the military, I was actually a home health aide. Does anybody know what a home health aide is? What is it?
Someone who like helps people in their homes. Like,
Yeah, exactly. So literally, I would go to people's houses, and I would basically, like old people, I would give them baths, I would wash them, I would wash their dishes, I cut their grass, I take them to the grocery stores. I did everything that I did to help, and I think to myself, has anybody ever felt like there's more to what I'm doing than what? Have you ever felt there's more to do in life? Have you ever felt that way before? Have anybody ever felt like that there's more that I can be doing? So at this journey, when I was a home health aide, I said to myself, there's more that I'm supposed to be doing. There's something else that I'm supposed to be doing out here. So then I said to myself, what is the one thing? If you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know where you want to go, this goes to anybody. What is the one thing that you can wake up every single day and nobody has to motivate you to do it? That is your calling. So what I did was that I actually put myself into a position that says, what is it that I feel that I can do every single day without nobody having to motivate me to do it? And the one thing that came along as a common denominator was helping people. I love to help people. It doesn't make a difference what it is. If I can go out and help somebody in any type of field for a facet, I know that I love to do it. So I say, well, if I love to help people, then what can I do to help people that can actually be lucrative and me actually being able to make money? Because you can help people all you want, but guess what? The bills are still going to be due, right? So I said, what can I do to help people that's going to involve making money? So I said, let me go to the military. So then I literally just went down to the recruiting station, and my son at the time was 3 years old. And so then when I came to the recruiting station, he said, okay, this is your day. You're going to ship out October the 18th. Okay, and I was like, all right, then cool. So I went down to Fort Leonard Wood, and actually in St. Louis. When I went down to Fort Leonard Wood, I did my MOS. I did my specialty. Now, what people don't understand is that when you go to basic, you're not in the big army yet. You're not to the big army until you actually go to your first duty station. So I went from Fort Leonard Wood, and I got on a plane, and I went to Fort Leonard Wood. We went to Joint Base Lewis McCoy, which is in Seattle, Washington. I got off the plane, 5 o'clock in the morning. I went up, dropped my bags off at the barracks. I met up with my first sergeant. My first sergeant said, how you doing, sir? I said, I'm doing well, first sergeant. He said, are you ready to go to combat? I said, excuse me? He said, we're getting ready to deploy in 60 days. So I literally got to my duty station, and in 60 days I was over in Afghanistan. So for a whole year I was over in Afghanistan. And it was at that moment that I really started to tap into what it's like to be leaders. Because I was literally sitting in the middle of the desert. I was surrounded by 360 defense. It was a mile of desert, and it was a Taliban. And I said to myself, if I can go over to another country and I can be able to help other people, if you give me back to my land in which I am, then I'll be able to pour into other people. And he taught me the leadership traits. So the mission, this is the mission I was provided. Leadership is given to you, not self-endowed. Okay? What does that mean when you read that? Anybody want to share that? Yeah.
Like you yourself, you can't really just declare yourself a leader or something. The people who you work with have to know that you are, have to like declare you.
Right. So what that's accurate, right? You have to have the mentality, you have to have the confidence within yourself that you're able to be able to give people a service. You have to have the confidence that you can actually be able to do the right things by your leadership position, right? So with that being said to you, you have to go out and you have to perform the duties and tasks in which are actually necessary for you to be able to have that. So let's say, for example, you have a lot of managers who are calling themselves managers, or you calling themselves CEOs, or they're calling themselves whatever they want to call, right? And then once you actually get into their realm of what they're doing, you kind of notice that they don't actually qualify, right? So that title doesn't really stick out as much, right? So what that means is that the more you actually pour into your individual business, the more you actually study your business, the more you actually study and you actually learn the business, the more that title is going to be amplified for you, okay? And then people are going to start gravitating towards you. It's going to be something that's just going to happen because you now devoted yourself to that responsibility. So that's why I say that leadership is not given to you, it's not self-endowed. It's something that's given to you by your peers. A leader's desire should start with selfless service and dedication to the mission. What does selfless service mean? Anybody know what selfless service means? Think about this word right here. What do you mean to be selfless? Anybody want to help him out? Never heard that before? No? What about you?
Like doing stuff, not just for you, but for others.
Exactly. Selfless service. So when you're in your business field, right, and you're learning about your business, you should try to find different ways and methods in which it actually doesn't involve benefiting you and you alone. Okay? Because there's going to be a greater gratification or satisfaction that comes that when you actually do something for other people. Okay? You're kind of like that result of the things in which you do for others. And that somehow or another would then comes into value or intangible value of then now you having more to it and will have more skin into the game. So I've dedicated the legacy mindset, the ministry in which I have, to helping other people because it's not always about me. Okay? When I created legacy mindset, okay, I basically help people realize their destiny and their legacy through faith, accountability, and resiliency. Because there's going to be challenges going to come along the way. But I want to help them be able to realize that what I'm leaving behind me, a lot of people think that a legacy has always got to be financial. Finances is only just one small part about leaving a legacy. I want to be able to provide a blueprint. If I go from point A to point B, then along that way, then I'm actually helping people understand who they are as individuals and helping them be able to come into a place of knowing that I've done something that somebody behind me can be able to follow. It's kind of like that old saying that we used to say back in the day that you can teach a man how to fish and he'll eat for a day, but if you can give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, but if you teach him how to fish, he'll eat forever. Okay? And that's kind of like the mindset you gotta have. You gotta have that mindset that you want to learn and you just don't want to be something given to you. Alright? Leaders have a responsibility to be trailblazers. What's the trailblazer? Outside of you, I see you. Anybody, what's the trailblazer? What's a trailblazer?
I've never heard that term before.
You've never heard the term trailblazer before.
No.
Anybody else never heard the term trailblazer?
Like somebody who starts something for others, or like sets an example for others to follow.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so a trailblazer is like this, and I'm giving to you the most simplistic form of the form I can. Right? A trailblazer is basically somebody that actually sounds like it is. They basically are leading the way. So if I'm a person, let's say when I go into my ministry, right, and my ministry is basically allowing for people to be able to get to a certain place in faith. Right? And I have a person that's behind me. And I want you to always know that somebody's always watching you. So if somebody's always watching you, they're seeing how you handle adversity. They're seeing how you're handling trials and tribulations. They're seeing how you handle your ups and they're seeing how you handle your downs. So this is what happens. You go into college or you go into your business field and you become successful. And then all of a sudden that person that's watching you, they become cognizant or they become conscious about they want to have something going on within themselves. So then they start thinking about, oh, I remember Tyrone used to be going to do this. So what did he do? He went to CLD. You're now creating a trail for that person. You're now creating a path in which that person can now be able to follow you to be able to accomplish their own individual goals and their own individual mission. That's a trailblazer. So you yourself as individual are all trailblazers. Do you not know that? How many of you have brothers? How many of you have a brother or sister? How many of you have little cousins, nieces and nephews? Somebody is looking up to you right now. And they may not directly come to you, but they're watching you. Okay? And the bottom part you can't see is it says, remember, no matter what you do, someone is always watching. That goes back to my point. Your impact. Leaders have to be willing to listen to all angles and ideas before determining a solution. Always be open-minded, all right? Never feel as though you always have the answers. Never feel as though that when an adult